This is a little unusual. We're in the truck and the camera's outside the truck. The wind would not quit blowing. We're up here at Walden and we're reviewing this brand new 2017 Ram 1500. It's the night edition. And it's got the black accents, the black wheels, 20-inch Wrangler Goodyear, or not Wrangler, yeah, Wrangler Goodyears. And it's got the big Ram logos everywhere that are black. It really is a sharp-looking truck. I mean, it's got the hood scoops, which they're not real, but they built into the hood, which I really like. So if it was my truck, I'd be drilling holes in there. But I don't know if that'll mess with your warranty or not. But, the SRT-10, the old Viper truck, it had a real functional hood scoop in the middle. A lot of people bought them, put them on their diesels, on their Cummins diesels. So it's really cool. But I love this hood. I'm thinking about getting an eco diesel Ram. If I do, I'll buy this hood and do what I want with it.
Poke as many holes in it as you want.
Yeah, this is really a loaded edition. It's got the 4-corner air on it, which I really like. With this trailer, we're pulling a 26-foot load trail. It's our toy hauler, and we try to get the weight down, because the weight on this, I think your towing ability is 7,880 and payload's 1,360. So we're just a hair over that by a couple hundred pounds. But anyway, how much horsepower? This is the Hemi 5.7, and it's an 8-speed automatic with a knob, and it 392 rear end, so it's made for towing. How much horsepower and torque do we have?
It's got 395 horsepower and 410 foot-pound of torque.
And this is the crew cab, so it's awesome. All kinds of room. There's a lot of room in that back seat, a lot of room in front of the seat. We got all of our gear. We got a lot of cameras and all the stuff we do up here. And it is fun, and this is a beautiful truck. I love the way this looks.
Yeah, the color is red and
red and black. It pops.
Yeah.
Now you've probably seen our little mirrors we put on. I should have probably took them off for this part of the video, but 8.5-foot wide trailer is the only way we could get it done. And we're only hauling 2 forwards instead of the 3 that we normally haul. We're hauling half the water. We're trying to get all the weights down. But this is handling it so well. Plenty of power, and it sounds so cool.
Yeah, it sounds mean.
But yeah, so come join us and see what we can do up here in Walden in the wilderness on 1,400 acres with 65% is sand. And there's like 4 of these things hooked together. So anything you want to do, water crossing, sand, mud, rock climbing, and it's just wonderful. So come join us. We're on our big adventure to Walden. We've got 2 ATVs in here and our toy hauler from Forest River. And oh man, such a sharp looking truck. This has got these hood scoops. I wish they were real, but it looks good because they're not stick-on like they were on the Bumblebee and the Daytona. I could probably drill some holes through there. Not that I'm telling you to do that. It might void the warranty. They do a lot of research to engineer the way the air moves under the hood. Now, I know these are world's ugliest mirrors. I had to get them from Walmart just so that we could see. And, 8.5-foot wide trailer, visibility is a problem. So, put these on there. They just screw in your mirror, and that makes them adjustable with your regular mirror controls. Once in a while they'll bounce off, and that's why you have these straps. That strap actually keeps them from getting totally lost, and you just go find them and put them back on. They're bouncing on your truck. And then too, what's cool, and here we got our hindsight monitor and our cameras on the back. So with this big wide 8.5-foot wide trailer, I can actually see what is going on behind me, who's right behind me, and if I can turn, if I can change lanes. And this has got a real long battery life. Big fan of hindsight, and they're weatherproof. Now, I also want to show you in the cab the shift selector. has, yes, my hindsight monitor right where I can see what's going on. I have my extension mirrors, I have all those things so we can be safe. Got a weight distributing hitch from Gen Y, I'll show you that. But this is the Hemi 5.7, and that means it's got the knob with the 8-speed transmission. And I've been showing you here the gears. It shows that we're just sitting here, but it shows to the right of that a +1, and that's the gear selector is here in your steering wheel. So if I push it again, I can get it all the way up to 8. See, there's 8. So then it actually will tell me what gear I'm in. Like I'm in first, I'm sitting still. On the highway, it'll show me that I'm in 8th or 6th or 7th, which is really nice. I like to know what gear I'm in. I think that's an awesome setup for that. But anyway, push button start. You gotta love push button start. 20-inch wheels, Goodyear Wranglers. Love the Ram box. Big fan. This has a tonneau cover, so we've got it loaded, and that tailgate locks too. But you know, we got this thing full. We're gonna load all of our provisions, and get our ice bags, and then my favorite hitch. Well, of course, we're using my heavy-duty Gen Y hitch. Now, this is the torsion hitch, so it's got the torsions in there to isolate the ride between the truck and the trailer. And we've got weight distributing onto it, and this is their new system. This one here, it attaches differently. The other one had a sleeve, and it went over your ball. This one slides over the shaft that the balls are connected to, and then it slides through a pin over the ball. Very heavy-duty setup system there. We're set up for 16,000 pounds where we are now. There's my solar panel, which actually works on my batteries, keeps them charged up, but also keeps them reconditioned. I've got two 6-volt batteries on here. And there's my generator. It's our new Westinghouse. I'll show you that when I get it set up at camp. Yes, indeed. There's my hindsight camera. I've got a straight angle and I've got a wide angle. I've got that attached on the back, and it's wireless connection. You can see the antenna. It goes right up to my monitor, so I can see what's going on. I can put up to 4 cameras with that monitor, which is really be awesome. I have 2 to put on now. I'm going to hook them up for my gooseneck. Here's the old toy hauler. Now the vents on this, it's got a lot of vents on the roof, but it's got vents on the sidewall. This one we have is low one, it's pointing backwards, and then the one on the front is up high, and it is pointing forward. That way you can suck those gas fumes from those 4-wheeler gas engines out the vehicle, so you're not full of fumes when you get to where you're going. Got to air these out so you're safe when you're sleeping in here. We're firing up the furnace and the air conditioner and the refrigerator. They all have the refrigerator and the furnace all have flames, so I really don't want gas fumes in there. Well, son, we're on our way to Walden. Yes, indeed. Going up Pooter Canyon. We've got this Ram 1500 with all the lettering and the wheels, and it's great black accents on it. I love this truck. It really has the look. And a hood scoop, even though they're not functional, it's built into the hood. And, you know, this is 2017 1500. We have a big weekend, or a big week for 4-wheelers and our toy hauler, our forest river work and play. And looks like the aspens are turning up here. We're on Pooter Canyon, Highway 14, west of Fort Collins. We're almost there. Beautiful scenery through here. I think the rocks get as close as they can to the truck in this route. But it's 2015 Ram 1500, and it's a crew cab short bed with the Ram box, 4-wheel drive, 5.7 Hemi, and it's dual exhaust out the bumper.
Sounds mean too.
Sounds awesome. Yes, it sounds like a real truck, a V8 Rumble. But we're going up here to play the 4-wheelers and go camping in about 3 days. It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it up here in the mountains and the rivers and all the cool scenery we get, and the aspens are looking awesome. this truck has such a good look. I mean, this red with all the black accents, the black wheels, they're 20-inch Goodyear Wranglers, and it's got the black ram in the grill, black ram on the tailgate. It really stands out. It's a sharp-looking truck, and it's got the hood with hood scoops. They're not real; they don't work, but they are cool. You know, I mean, back in the old days, on the Dodge Ram, Rumblebee, and Daytona, all those special edition half tons that they had, you know, they had the tape on hood scoops. They were like 3M tape, and they were cool looking, but they looked fake, and they were fake. This one doesn't look fake, but you know, if it was my truck, I'd probably be drilling holes through it and getting some air in there, but not if it affected the warranty, because the engineer spent a lot of time checking air pressure in the hood, seeing where the air moves to. So I'm sure they have a reason for all this, but I know that one prototype that they had at the Texas State Fair last year, it had hood scoops like this, and they were working hood scoops. So I think a guy could do something to these. But this thing's powerful. It's a 392 rear-end axle and 8-speed, so it's ideal for trailers. And this, we are right at the maximum, maybe a couple hundred pounds over with this trailer. Tongue weight's right in line with the 10%. And good brake controller in here, and it's putting out great brakes. Ram also has 4-corner air, which is awesome. So this thing is leveled up right away. I didn't see it in the Maroni, so I didn't think it had it. And then when I jacked it up and hooked up the spring arms on the weight distributing hitch, I noticed the whole thing raised up a little more than I thought it would. And that's because the air suspension is leveling itself out.
Yeah, and it's got the controls. Not squatting at all.
Right, you got the control on there, so you can raise it up. You can do, and that would help with some off-road stuff you might want to do. It won't make the axles taller, but it'll make the body clear some of that stuff you end up going through. And this is very well loaded. The heated, cooled seats, the heated steering wheel. This is a very well loaded truck, and it's MSRP out. It's $57,395. The 392 is. I was really glad it had that, because that is the best for trailering in a half ton on the Ram side. Now the EPA rates this 21 miles per gallon on the highway, 15 in the city, combined of 17. But man, this is loaded. Very comfortable truck. A lot of room in that back seat. A lot of room on the floor in front of the seats. So this is, throw all of our gear in here. It does well. And this has a tonneau cover on it, so we've got our ice chest in there and a lot of other things. Plus, it's got the Ram box, which it's as good as it gets. Nobody's got a better box system than what Ram does on this truck. And it is one fun truck to drive. These 20-inch tires. It handles well. I mean, we're pulling a big trailer.
It doesn't have any lack for power either.
No, it's fun to floor it because it gets up and goes.
And yeah, it does make a lot of noise too.
Yeah, you hear it. This is called a flame red clear coat. Of course, the inside's black.
The color pops, dude. It sticks out.
Now, I don't know what kind of average we're getting. I need to check that to see what kind of fuel mileage we're getting. But we're pulling a trailer, so I don't know if we're getting 8 or 9 or whatever we're getting. We'll find out. That's how these gas engines run at higher RPMs with the trailer, and that sucks your fuel. That's just how it is. This is a 17 model, night edition, and I keep calling it black edition. It's a night edition. I don't know why I keep calling it black, but anyway, they come in a few colors, but yeah, this is a night edition. I'll get that through my head. Night edition. Of course, this has an 8-speed automatic, that rotary dial that we're all still trying to get used to.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how the hell to put it in gear. I'm like, it's not on the column. It's not on the column. What the heck? Yeah.
And you guys still have manual shift in your steering wheel, so you can't go through the gears.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
I go up and down with them, get to the 8th gear, so I can actually will show me, like Ford does, which gear I'm in, which I really like. I wish they all did that. But, and Kelsey just bought herself a 1500 Ram. I think it's a 2015 or 16. I think it's a 15 Eco Diesel. So it's this size of a setup, and she had a hard time with the knobs too. Now I think she's finally getting used to it. She drives it all the time. Well, look at the aspens up here. Gorgeous aspens. We're finally high enough in the air that we're watching the aspens turn. They're the little quakies, and they're quaking in the wind too. And they make a rustling sound. Yeah. We're in the canyon, so you got some turbulence in these canyons. It says EMDS too, so actually will shut off half the cylinders.
No,
when you're on like driving in Kansas or someplace, not where we drive, but you get a flat piece of highway and save some fuel with that running on 4 cylinders. Beautiful up here with the rocks, the cooter side, that's what's standard. And what really is on the truck is on the right side. 10-way driver's seat, 6-way passenger seat.
Seats are nice, and the interior's nice.
Yeah, that
Got
is.
nice leather seats.
Got all the big knobs like I like, and a new knob for the shifter. But I like an 8-speed. I think that's awesome. It's got a painted honeycomb grill. Black Ram tailgate nameplate. Of course, tailgate
That's
is
not a bad
Lux.
price, is it? As far as
Well, no, not really. I mean,
the way the markets are anymore, you get a base models are probably what?
well, you get a base model, you get them down to like probably 35.
Yeah.
But this one, this is really well loaded, and it has everything I'd like to have. The trailer brake system on it. It's got a sprayed-in bed liner. It's got the cargo straps, tie-down hooks, GPS.
What is that thing that's in the back of that?
Oh, that's a divider. You can move it in all those slots and separate, whatever cargo you have.
Oh, okay.
Or you can put it in the back end and make it as a tailgate extender.
Oh.
Yeah, when we haul motorcycles, we push them all the way in front.
Yeah.
So we can block our wheel against it, not damage the bulkhead.
Well, I seen that back there, and I just didn't know. And, I've seen like you said, Ford has that.
Well, it's got the Sport Performance hood. I'm trying to figure out what this cost is on it. It also does have a 32-gallon tank. That's a big tank for a half ton. Let's see if I can get this figured out. It looks to me like the hood is $775. So you can buy this hood, which is what people did with that SRT 10 hood.
Yeah, the Viper.
Yeah, the Viper engine, Viper transmission with a long stick. That had that functional hood scoop, and a lot of the Cummins diesel owners I knew with Rams bought that hood. And you could buy this hood, then I could drill some holes in it. Yeah. Won't fit my 94 Ram, but the truck I'm really looking seriously at is the Eco Diesel. Once they get all their lawsuits cleared up, I'm going to look at one of those, and I'll be buying one of these hoods. Trifold tonneau cover. 9 speakers. These are Alpines. It's got the rain-sensitive windshield wipers. I get a big kick out of those. And those dual exhaust tips out the bumper. Oh man, these Aspens are just too cool. I'm about to grab that camera and switch it around here and show you folks these Aspens.
Yeah, it is.
It's awesome.
It's pretty.
Crash rating's pretty good. Side crash is 5-star. Looks like the frontal crash is 4-star. Overall, it's a 4-star.
Get a little bit of incline here.
Yeah, and it's saying I was impressed with the way it grade shifts. This is an 8-speed, and it's geared low enough. And of course, it's like most of these trucks. They keep trying to do a lot of that in the lower speeds, and you can grade shift all the way up to highway speeds. But at those speeds, this thing grade shifted very, very well. It was doing exactly what it's supposed to. When you're going downhill, it downshifts you to hold you. Going uphill, it downshifts you to accelerate with. But I've got tow haul mode on. You didn't turn it off, did you?
No, it's still on.
Okay. That's really good. I mean, it's actually very good for braking.
This road's nice too now.
Yeah, now we got a nice smooth
It
road.
widened. It was pretty narrow about 3 or 4 miles back.
Well, this here has, I think, a capacity of towing about 78, 80. We're a couple hundred pounds over, but it's Ram tough, so I wasn't worried about it. And payload, we're right on the numbers there. It's 1360, and this is we dumped a little water and a few other things to get the weight down. We only hauled 2 4-wheelers instead of 3, so we can get that weight down. I hope my voice is coming through because this exhaust is pretty loud.
Nope.
You can see all that stuff. Oh, I barely made that one.
Wow,
Yeah,
that was smart.
That was a suicidal guy there flying around with that Honda. Yeah, so you can see him on your back camera coming up.
Oh, I seen him, and I'm like, you're an idiot. But
payload on this is 1360, and his air ride really helps. We're so level with this thing. I'm impressed. And there's something about the Rams air ride. They get better every year. I noticed in the dually we had a couple weeks ago, that thing was so much better riding than it was a year ago. So Ram may be getting this all figured out, because I'm a big believer in air ride, and Ram keeps getting bigger. It keeps getting better. ride system. There's a reason why semis have air ride and semi-tractors and trailers. And leaf springs just don't keep it level no matter how they keep trying to do all these different things. GM does a good job with their asymmetrical rear leaves for keeping it level, but there's a reason semis have it. This is 4-corner here. I wish I had a little bigger airlines on it because these can't freeze on you. Small little, what they're called, quarter or whatever. The semis have like a 3/8, and my truck has 3/8. And you need all the room you can. Plus a little tank so you can put alcohol in the winter and keep it all thawed out. There's a few things I would do to one of these with an air ride. we're using all of our Anderson accessories. These are the blocks they can put under the leveling jacks, and I'm using them under the main jack. And we used the leveling wedges from Anderson. This is sand, so it was very tough to get level. But with these Andersons, we've got it level, which is so cool. They're underneath the wheel, and we'll back up to get them out of there. We're unloading or loading everything now and getting ready. But if you can see on my leveling gauge, we did it really well. That's just with those two wedges on the left side, the driver's side. So they work. Then we use the one kick plate that we had this here under the steps, which is great in the sand. Kick it off with your shoes before you go in to your RV. We use that and all their stuff. Okay, come on in. These shock straps, we use these all the time. Now this one here, I think this is rated 1,000 pounds. But it's got that dog bone in there, polyurethane. The red thing I call a dog bone. And that stretches. That's good, son, right there. That'll always stay tight when you're hauling something with a suspension or tires. You need something that keeps absorbing the shock just like the tires and suspension does. And that shock strap does that. And these will never come undone, you never get loose. I love them. I use them all the time now. That was fun. Did you have fun?
Yeah, I had fun.
3 days in the wilderness. We saw 6 deer. We saw them several places.
Same deer.
Same
I think
deer.
they're just doing circles. We just
Yeah.
kept on seeing
Day
them.
3, we saw 2 moose.
Yeah, which
And
we almost ran over.
We almost ran over 2 cows. And then we saw about 25 antelope.
Yeah.
And there's bow hunters all over up here and looking for elk and antelope and moose. So this is so awesome. I mean, up here, first night here we had 4 inches of snow. And then that settled the sand down, which makes it pack a little harder, which is nice. And then we had real cold and high winds, and we went up stuff that was unbelievable.
Yeah, it's been windy.
Yeah, we went through some trails that we had to drag 2 logs out of the way.
Yeah.
With the ATV, the
winch
our
on the
worn
front.
winch, yeah. And that was cool. So we got all that done, and now we're getting loaded up and headed back into Denver. But yeah, this truck pulls greatly. We had a lot of fun with it. The Ram box is awesome.
Yeah.
Put all your stuff in there, and this had a tonneau cover, so we were able to put all of our ice chests and all the extra gas cans we had in there. So this truck was really well equipped for what we did with it.
Yeah. Well, and then too with the boxes, the way they're set up, you can put shit in the boxes.
Yeah, the Ram boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the floor, and it's had plenty of room for us. So this is so awesome, and hopefully we'll have some of those pictures of the wildlife that we saw. It was just too windy. It never quit blowing.
Yeah.
And now when we're leaving, it'll probably get real nice and quiet. But that's how it
It's
goes.
probably I was gonna say it's probably been the calmest it has been, but I thought first day we were here was pretty calm.
And we're using the hindsight camera on the back of the trailer so we can see really well. And we're using these weird looking mirrors because it didn't have camping mirrors on our trailer mirrors. And we're using all the stuff from Anderson and the Gen Y hitch and with weight distributing hitch, their new system. So all that's on here. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and come see our next one.
And we got tons of pickup truck questions, right?
Right. Where do we go for the answers?
We go to the Truck Nuts book.
Because we're truck nuts. And we wrote the book, Truck Nuts. We're nuts about truck. The ultimate guide to buying a truck, or to
Yep.
looking at a truck, or judging a truck. You know, whether it's diesel versus gas, new versus used, what your teenagers should learn about trucks, all that. You do all kinds of cool tests.
Yeah, we do a lot of testing. We do the iGauntlet, world's toughest towing test, up the mountain and down the mountain. We do MPG testing on the highway, loaded with trailers.
Yeah.
We do off-road testing. A lot of that data is in this book as well, and it's a one-stop shop for truck information.
That's true. We test trucks, maximum capacity, up to the biggest grades you can do on the interstate.
Yep.
So we really put them to the test. And, you can get all the facts you can't find anywhere else. We do MPG tests, which you can't find on any sticker anywhere. So, all that stuff that you can't find is in the book.
And you can find the book at trucknutsbook.com. There are links to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all the other bookstores as well.
So read about your truck nuts.